Okay, I think we're rolling. Hi, I'm Jenny Scott and founder of FlyForward, and this is my friend Kristen, who I've only known for not even a year now.
I know.
Which is crazy,
Yeah.
but okay, so what I'm realizing about Waking Up Gray, I am so glad because I have met so many incredible people. And Kristen and I actually went to the beach this month, earlier this month.
Nice. So nice.
So great. We have created a camaraderie of creative community that goes on, and we get pretty intimate pretty quickly with the material. So I am going to introduce you to Kristen, who went through Waking Up Gray this year.
Yes.
And we want to hear your story. So can you tell us, we'll start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself, what your life looks like right now.
Sure. So right now I have two kids who are, one's in preschool and one's in elementary school. And so I'm in this phase of young kids, but returning back to work again because I had taken a few years off. And so I'm making that transition right now. So in some ways I feel a little dusty, a little, awkward jumping back in with people who have been in the field. And so kind of experiencing some of the growing pains, but also the fun of a different phase of life right now.
So in this phase of life, tell us how you heard about Waking Up Gray, how that came into your life, and how you received it, or why was it intriguing?
Yeah. Well, we have a mutual friend.
Yes.
Awesome,
Which you've all met before if you've watched any other episodes. Holly was on an earlier episode.
Yes, she is so great.
Yes.
So she and I were sitting on the front porch drinking some wine, hanging out on this beautiful swing her husband built. But we were just hanging out talking late one night in the neighborhood, and I was just kind of pouring out some of my own feelings of being stuck kind of in life, stuck a little bit, part of it because of transitioning, but part of it just due to feeling kind of dissatisfied with some of the things that I had been experiencing for a while, both with church and with career, and just some different things for myself that I had just kind of gotten stuck, and I felt really dissatisfied, and there was this really creative piece of me that loved writing and creating things, and I just didn't know what to do with all of it. Yeah. So I was kind of, one night we were just hanging out, and I was just telling her about that, and she had been to a retreat of silence and reflection, and you had been one of the co-leaders, I believe, and so she had found out from you about the Waking Up Gray book, and the things that you did in your home, and the studies that you conducted in various places in the community, and so she said, why don't you try it? So I remember, I emailed you, I'm not an artist. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I was like, I'm not an artist. I'm actually a teacher. Is it okay if I come?
Okay. So. FYI, she's an artist. I mean, you can tell by looking at her, she just ekes out creativity. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been so fun. But I remember I was nervous because I thought, everyone's gonna be a professional painter or something, and I'm gonna be in there not doing anything. So anyway, so it's a little bit scary. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but yeah, you were like, come, it's for everyone, come, and it so is. I just didn't know at the beginning, and now having been through it, I have a little different perspective.
Yeah. So when you went through it, you came, which takes a lot of bravery. You didn't know anybody in the group.
Yeah.
And you showed up without having, just from what Holly said, without having context of even knowing what it is, just that you were supposed to be an artist, which actually not at all true, right? So the idea is, through Waking Up Gray, we kind of shift our perspective of what creativity is and isn't, that we're all, if we're human, we're creative, and we can be on a creative process, whether it's organizing a closet, cooking dinner, painting on the canvas, all of those things. And so you kind of had to shelve that idea away and show up anyway, and you did. And so tell us a little bit about the year and what kind of unfolded for you?
Yeah. So, well, because I think I had that, I'm not a professional artist sort of thing, I thought we were going to go and everybody was going to be like either writing these amazing novels or, creating, and not that there wasn't great art created, but it wasn't, I think I was intimidated by that in a little bit. That's where the scare factor was. Mm-hmm. So I went, and it was just so welcoming and comfortable, mm-hmm. And we did, while we did some art, we definitely created, but I didn't feel intimidated by it. Like I felt comfortable to whether we were making beads or just, doing different color layering or, I felt really comfortable to just jump in and try and do what I could do. And then also kind of pairing that with the conversation, the nights where we just had discussion about creating and about what creativity is, and maybe like for myself seeing it as, oh, it's only someone who's a professional, and and certainly when you're a teacher you have to be creative in the classroom all over the place, but that's what I thought I could do, like in that one place. So discovering like what creativity is, to not be afraid. I think I was afraid because I felt like it had to be good, for anyone to see it or, hear something I had written, or, just to put myself out there, no matter what it looked like or sounded like. And that was a gift because it was creativity and it was making art my own way. So I think all of that changed my perspective on the class and what it brought up for me.
And as we watched this, I remember watching in our group when someone would bring something that they had done creatively. So Wakingupgrey really is a place where it's solitary in one way. Would you agree? Like the week that you're doing, there's a lot of journaling, there's a lot of self-reflection. So a lot of the process is done in the silence and solitude of the week. But then when we come together, we're celebrating the work that's been done. And so, you might bring a drawing from your sketchbook and we would just look at it. And I felt, you tell me how this was for you, it seemed like everyone in the room was so supportive and like really wanted to see you continue and flourish in your exploration.
That was a huge piece of it for me, is to the first like nervous time I brought something like new, that it's a group that's there to celebrate what everybody's creating, no matter where you are in the process or what kinds of ideas are speaking to you or what kind of medium you're using, that everybody was just celebrating the art that was being created. And, I remember the first time I brought my sketchbook, or the first time I had made a collage, and, I just left feeling so good, so there was so much grace and joy, just like celebrating that I had like taken this step out of my box, and we were all doing that for each other. I felt like it was there to just celebrate the creativity, the creating process, not what a certain end product like had to be. That's not what it was about at all. It was all about the creating process.
In your sketches, this you in particular always seem to have this quality about your sketches that was very expressive, very raw, very vulnerable. The figures that you would draw, just it felt very, we were holding a sacred space because you were sharing your story and you were expressing from a very deep, like very core part of who you are. And it almost felt like you reconnected with that person through your sketches. And that's what we were holding, that like that beautiful sacred story that you were telling through your sketches that we got to be a part of, which was honoring for everyone in the room as well as honoring for you. Just that's what we do. That's what we try to do, is hold the stories that are emerging, even in real time as they emerge.
I love that phrase of holding the sacred space, because that feels so true to what it was for me. I'm going through some healing of different things that have happened, and And so the figures, whether they were a lot of feminine, figures of women in different phases of life, and some of them were really raw, like broken, and some of them were like little girl women kind of coming out. And so to feel like I could use that as part of the healing process, really, in a way that I hadn't experienced in any other venue I've been in, to be able to draw that and put out color and talk about it together, just brought me a level of discovery and healing that I haven't found in other places. So I'm so grateful. So grateful.
Okay, so this was a 9-month process, and then we finished with a retreat in May. So tell us what you've been up to this summer. So what's happening now in terms of that, in terms of your process?
Well, I've tried to just really continue with it. So I've continued the creating, just always kind of helps me to bring it out, and maybe it's sort of meditative for me, that in that process I'm just quiet and I can pull in and think about the ideas that have been helpful for me that we've talked about, and also flexing that muscle of not being afraid, continuing to flex that muscle over and over again. And so part of that process is not just my personal growth of relationships, and kind of exploring that in new ways with my kids and my family and my friends, but it's affected career too, and kind of I'm getting ready to start something that's totally out of my comfort zone, totally new, but I've been itching. This is what my husband said. He said, "You've been itching to do something so badly that you have scratched yourself raw at this point." And so even he was like, "You need to step into this and do this." So
that is amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
We want to hear more about your story. We've run out of time, but if you feel like you're itching and you're scratching yourself raw, wanting this creativity that is in there, to find a voice, to find space, contact me at FlyForward.org. I will be beginning some new groups in next month. If you're not in the Franklin or Nashville area, contact me anyway. There's a way that we can do online classes. So FlyForward.org, go to the contact page, or go to What We Do under Services and sign up for a Wakingupgrey group. We're going to be meeting Tuesday nights and Thursday mornings with Holly. Holly's going to help me out with those groups. So please contact me if this is meeting the itchy parts. Thanks for stopping by.